KONDOSAN.
Once upon a time, in a little house in the forest, there lived 3 little pigs, Honky, Ponky and Minky. They lived with their mother. Honky was very lazy. Ponky was very carefree and easygoing. And Minky, the smallest one, was smart, forward-thinking and a brave pig. He behaved as if he was the father of the house. Whenever there was a problem, their mother would always resolve it with Minky. The others wouldn't even move a muscle. Despite the fact that these 3 brothers were so different, they really loved one another. In their spare time, after sleeping and eating, they always played hide and seek in the forest.
3, 4, 5.
Honky and Ponky always napped in the spot in which they were hiding, and Minky would find them each time, wake them up, and then tag them. Minky had no other option than to accept his brothers the way they were.
I'm always it. It's not fair. I'm so tired of looking for you.
Oh, let me sleep a little bit more.
He'll spend all day searching for me.
Children, don't go too far away whilst playing. You know that the forest is dangerous. It's full of hungry wolves. Honky and Ponky expected their mother to do everything for them. Minky, however, always helped their mother. One day, he took their mother aside.
Mum, this can't go on like this any longer. We're the ones who always bring the wood from the forest. You get tired cooking for us every day. I think my brothers and I should leave and we should take care of ourselves.
Don't be ridiculous, Minky. You're all my children. I'm used to it all.
Of course, Mum. But my brothers should learn to take responsibility. It'll be good for them too. Huh? What do you say?
I think you're right, Minky. Then let's talk to your brothers tomorrow and put this idea straight into action. I'd saved all of you a bit of money. I'll split it to 3 and give it to you all. Everyone should build his own house. Let's see what happens. Even though Minky's brothers were shocked at their mother's idea, all 3 little pigs, bags in their hands, set off on the road the next day to start their new lives. They were very excited. They parted with their mother at the door.
Mom, I'm so sorry I upset you by being so lazy all the time. See you.
Mom, I never listened to anything you told me. I upset you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. From now on, I'll remember everything you've told me. Goodbye.
Mum, don't be sad that I'm leaving. After I finish my house, I'm going to come and get you. Take care.
Their mother was very concerned that something bad could happen to them in the forest. Take care of yourself, kids. Let me know how you are, and please watch out for treacherous wolves. The 3 little pigs walked for a while and finally decided on a spot for their new houses. It was quite far away from their home. Minky especially wanted it to be like this. He didn't trust his brothers. He thought that they should really learn to take care of themselves and not run straight to their mother at the first problem they are faced with. It was first Honky that found a spot for his house. Because he was lazy, he was choosing the easiest option.
I'll make my house from hay, and once I make my bed from hay too, I'll be nice and warm throughout the winter. I won't have to work so hard. I'll also have some money left because it's cheap and easy to build a house of hay.
Honky was nearly the same.
I'm going to make my house out of wood. I'll also paint it nicely. This is the best option. If I rent one room out, then I won't even have to work. I think it'll be easy to make a house out of wood.
Guys, are you crazy? How can there be a house from hay and wood? You're both picking the easiest options again. If I were you, I would think about it again.
You take care of yourself, Tiny.
And he's telling us what to do. You short pig, you. Ha 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 ha.
The 3 little pigs were building their houses close to one another. Honky had built his house out of hay in one day. He had even started to fall asleep on his bed of hay, and Ponky built a scrappy house within a day with the wood that he had bought.
Oh, even this house is too much for me. As long as I have a roof over my head, I don't care about anything else.
Minky was going to make his house out of brick. First, he carried the brick, and then he dug a large base. Then, in the next couple days, he built a wonderful house with 4 rooms and a fireplace out of brick and cement.
I'll carry water and wood for old people and take care of their gardens. I'll go to the market for them. This way I can be of use to everyone. And I'm sure they will give me a plate of food and an allowance.
It wasn't long before the dangerous wolf in the forest got the smell of the 3 little pigs. First, he went to Honky's door.
Neighbour, my sweet neighbour, welcome. Can I come in so that we can meet? I live nearby.
This must be the voice of the wolf that Mother warned us about. As far as I know, there aren't any neighbors around. I know who you are, you horrible wolf. I'm not going to open the door.
The wolf got really angry.
Get out of there quickly. My breath is incredibly strong. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down.
No, my house is strong. You cannot destroy it.
The wolf took a step back, took a deep breath in, and then he huffed and puffed towards the house with all his might. The house of hay completely fell apart. Honky managed to escape and ran straight to Minky's house.
Minky, the wolf came to my door and destroyed my house. And I ran to you. I think he's going to Ponky now. Quick, close the door.
Oh no! Let's call him and let him know right away. Hello, Ponky. Get out of the house immediately. The wolf is coming towards you.
Hello? Minky, is that you? Look at what you're fussing over. My house is solid. There's no way he can get in.
Indeed, the wolf who hadn't managed to catch Honky was headed straight towards Ponky's house.
Yoo-hoo! Anyone home? Little pig, I brought you a small gift from your little brother. Open the door, let me come inside and let's talk a little.
He wouldn't have time to send me a gift from his sleep. Either way, my brothers called me to let me know that you were coming. You stupid wolf! I'm not opening the door. Now get out of here.
So you're not opening? Okay then. My breath is incredibly strong. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down.
Not wanting to leave empty-handed, the treacherous wolf gave the house a couple of kicks. Then after huffing and puffing on the scrappy house, it fell apart. Honky managed to escape and get to Minky's house.
Quick, open the door, Minky. The wolf's going to catch me. Please hurry up.
Minky took his second brother into the house too. The 3 of them were shaking with fear. The 3 brothers sat down and started thinking.
I think it's your turn, Minky. He's coming here for sure.
Yes, I think so too. We must find a way to free ourselves from this wolf once and for all.
But how?
The 3 pigs quickly made a plan
Gotta make a plan, guys.
and started to wait for the wolf.
Come on.
When the wolf arrived at Minky's house, he called out.
I know that 3 of you are there. Come out nicely, or I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow this house down too.
Come on, what are you waiting for? Break it down if you can. Turn around, go, and leave us alone.
The furious wolf started kicking the door and the walls. There were 3 locks on the door, but the 3 pigs stared at each other with fear and hugged one another tightly as they watched the door. The wolf kicked, huffed and puffed, but he couldn't destroy Minky's house. Suddenly, an idea popped into the wolf's head. He was going to enter the house through the chimney. He went onto the roof by placing a ladder against the house. he managed to squeeze himself into the chimney and let himself fall. The 3 pigs were waiting for this moment. Right away, they lit a fire in the fireplace and started to watch. Since the wolf hadn't seen smoke in the chimney before, he hadn't thought of a fire. Falling quickly and straight down the chimney, he burnt himself from the fire. As fast as a jet, he went right back up the chimney in so much pain.
Help! Help! I'm on fire! Help! Help! Help!
Finally, the wolf's time is over. He'll never come back. Now it's time to go get our mother. My house is pretty big and there's a room for each of us. I've missed her very much, haven't you?
Have I? I won't be lazy ever again. I'll sort out of the shopping from now on.
I missed her too. And I will do the gardening from now on. I'm going to grow fruits and vegetables and help our mother.
Yes, all of us must help Mum by doing some of the housework and make her comfortable. We can also help some of our neighbours too.
Thus, Honky and Ponky changed a lot. Everyone started to look up to Clever Minky. With this wonderful ending, they took their mother in with them and they lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, there lived a mother goat and her 7 kids. They lived in a house in the forest. Mother goat loved her kids and would protect them at any cost. She would try to teach them lessons about her life experiences. And they were so cute. 4 of them were girls and 3 of them were boys. One day, Mother Goat wanted to go to the market to sell the butter that she had made. But she had to leave her kids at home by themselves.
My dear ones, I'm going to the market. Don't you dare open the door to strangers. Please be careful.
Okay, Mum.
When you come, show us your feet. If we believe that they are your feet, we'll open the door.
Mother Goat set off right after kissing all her kids goodbye. Meanwhile, there was a treacherous wolf wandering in the forest, searching for some easy prey. The wolf was hiding behind a tree, patiently waiting for the little goat's mother to leave the house. As soon as she left, he knocked on their door. He wanted to make use of this opportunity.
Who is it?
My dear kids, it's me, your mother. I've brought you some wonderful and delicious fruit. Open the door for me.
Hey, wait! I know this voice. This is the voice of the wolf. Remember what Mom said?
The wolf has a deep voice. Oh, my dears, please be careful and don't make a mistake, or the wolf will eat you all.
As the wolf couldn't get past the door, he knocked on the door to try his chance again. This time, he really thinned his voice to make it sound like their mother's.
My dear goats, I'm stuck outside. Come on, open the door for me. I'm so tired. I've brought you a lot of food. Why are you making your mother wait outside?
This sounds like my mother, but we need to be sure. Mother, please stretch your legs out from under the door. Remember what we discussed? Show us your feet.
So the wolf stretched out his feet. Of course, after seeing the dark feet, the goats realized that this was the wolf.
Get lost!
Get lost!
You're not our mother.
Her feet are white.
White as snow.
We won't open the door. We won't open the door.
We won't open.
The wolf got furious. He went to the bakery and bought a sack of flour. He came back to the kids' door and covered his feet in flour, making them completely white.
This should work now. I'm going to catch the goats. You little goats. You can't escape from me.
But the wolf had forgotten one thing. The little goats were very clever. Terrified of the wolf constantly hovering outside their door, they came up with a plan.
My sisters and brothers, I have a feeling. I think that this wolf isn't going to give up easily, and he's going to try to trick us. If this treacherous wolf comes to our door again, even if we see white feet, we'll peek from under the door. If it's indeed our mother, we'll recognize her smell from even behind the door.
The goats gathered round and whispered the plan to one another. They all had a different task. With joy, the wolf knocked on the door again with his feet snow-white covered in flour. This time he was so sure that he'd be able to trick the goats.
Kids, come on! I'm your mother. Look what I bought you. If you open the door, I have a gift for all of you. Here are my snow-white feet. Look from under the door. Did you see? Did you see my snow-white feet?
When the goats carefully looked at the feet, they realized that they were way too big to be their mothers.
Yes, they're white, but they are huge. Kids, this is the wolf again, not our mother. Come on, let's carry out our plan. Okay, Mother. I'm opening the door right away.
As they planned, everyone hid in a different place. One of them hid under the blanket, one under the bed, one inside the closet, one inside the oven, and another behind the curtains. And one of them went onto the roof. Her task was up there. Their plan was coming together perfectly. Finally, the little goat who knew that the time had come slowly pulled on the string that he attached to the door from inside the old big clock in the living room where he was hiding, and the door opened.
The door's open, Mummy. You can come in now.
The wolf that entered the house was shocked to find it empty.
Huh?
He couldn't see a single goat anywhere. Suddenly, he noticed something moving under the blanket. The wolf walked there slowly, holding his hands out. He lifted the blanket.
I've got you, little one. Did you think you could trick me? No one can escape from me.
The big sister was the one under the blanket. In her hand was a bottle of spicy red pepper. Suddenly she threw all of it at the wolf's face. And the goat under the bed poured the bottle of oil on the wolf's feet. There was oil everywhere. The wolf's face, mouth, nose and eyes were burning, so he couldn't stand on the slippery floor and fell flat on the ground. Covered all in oil, the wolf rolled over and over towards the door, trying to escape.
Help! Help! I'm burning! I'm burning! Isn't there anyone to help me? My eyes are burning! I can't see anything!
The kid, hiding in the big old clock, poked his head out and with a hoarse voice,
Catch this treacherous wolf and punish him. He should know what it means to try to trick us.
Upon hearing this, all the others started throwing the tomatoes they had stored in the living room from the freezer, and also the marbles they played with to the wolf that couldn't run on the slippery ground. The goat on top of the roof threw a bucket of cold water over the wolf's head that was hardly able to come out the door. The wolf ran for his life as fast as he could.
I'll never come to this house again. I got burned from the peppers they threw at me. I froze from the cold water, and I'm covered in tomatoes. I'm a frozen tomato. If I had thought for 40 years, I would have never thought that these little goats could trick me. Either I've gotten very old, or these goats are really very clever.
Towards evening, Mother Goat returned from the market. She had bought her little goats a lot of fruit and vegetables so that they could be healthy. Each one of them was fond of a different fruit. The mother did not forget any of them and chose them carefully. When she arrived in front of the door, she noticed the entrance was completely wet. She looked up and there was not a cloud in the sky, and it wasn't raining. She knocked on the door and called out to the little goats.
My little goats, I'm here. Open the door for me. I'm very tired and my hands are full of bags. I also have a surprise for you.
Show us your
Show
feet.
us your feet.
Show us your feet.
Mother Goat stretched her feet under the door. The goats realized that these were their mother's feet right away. Her voice was also their mother's. They opened the door without hesitation. Mother Goat screamed with shock when she entered the house. It was a big mess. Peppers and tomatoes were on the floor, and furniture was scattered all around. Mother Goat was terrified.
My God, what happened to this house? What is this? There are tomatoes and peppers everywhere. Are you okay?
The little goats told their mother what had happened to them one by one. The mother was very sad, but was also very proud of her children. Once again, she realized how clever they were. Later, they all cleaned the house together. They ate their dinner.
My smart little ones, I love you all so much. You did well today. You acted together and you defeated the bad wolf. I'm proud of you. It makes me so happy to be the mother of such clever goats.
She hugged and kissed them one by one. The next day, they all went to the police to complain about the wolf.
Oh.
They told the forest police everything that had happened. The forest police congratulated the little goats for their bravery and cleverness. He even told them that if they wanted, they could become forest police when they grew up. The goats were very happy to hear this. The wolf was caught and sent far away. He was punished to never come back. The 7 little goats lived happily ever after, protecting one another, just like their mother had taught them. Once upon a time, long ago, there lived a lumberjack with his children by the edge of a faraway forest. The son was named Hansel, and the daughter was named Gretel. The lumberjack's wife, the children's mother, had died, so they were going through very hard times. As they were also a very poor family, they survived only on the herbs and fruits that they collected from the forest. The children never complained about the situation and always tried to support their father. One day there was a knock on the door, and a woman holding a huge bottle of milk appeared before them.
I've come from the neighbour forest. My house burnt down and I have no place to stay. I've also brought a cow with me. If I give you this bottle of milk and the cow, could I stay with you?
The father and children happily accepted this offer. At least they were now going to have a cow that could give them milk every day. After some time, their father married this woman, yet their impoverished life continued. One night, as the children went to bed, husband and wife started arguing, but Hansel was secretly listening to them.
Look at us. How can we feed the kids like this? I'm helpless. I don't know what else to do.
Well, I actually have an idea that could benefit us all, but I don't know if you'd accept. Tomorrow, let's take the kids to the forest and tell them that we're going to collect wood and we'll light a fire. Give each of them a loaf of bread and leave them there.
Don't be ridiculous. I love my children. How could I abandon them?
Don't worry. They're a lot older now. They can take care of themselves. When our situation gets better, we'll search for them. If not, all 4 of us will starve to death.
Hansel was a very smart child, so when he heard his stepmother's plans, he secretly left the house to collect pebbles. His mother that had passed away taught him this. She had told him that the shining pebbles at night will show you the way. In the morning, their stepmother woke the children up.
Hansel, Gretel, wake up! We're going to the forest. We need to collect wood for fire.
The first thing Hansel did when he woke up was to put the pebble stones in his pocket. As they walked to the forest, he secretly dropped the pebble stones to the ground. They headed all the way into the depths of the forest. When they stopped to rest, their stepmother and father lit a fire, put some bread next to them, and started to walk away.
Children, you rest a little by the fire. Me and your father will collect some wood and come back.
Their father was very sad, but helplessly he followed his wife towards the path home. He turned his head and looked at his children for the last time.
I will get my kids back at the first opportunity.
The children watched and watched their stepmother and father until they were out of sight. Realizing that their stepmother and father would not be coming back, the tired children fell asleep by the fire. When they woke up, it was very late and the moon was glowing brightly.
I'm so scared, brother. What are we gonna do? I don't think anyone's coming to find us.
Don't be scared, Gretel. The pebble stones I left in the moonlight shine brightly. We can follow them and go back home.
The children walked all night long, and finally they arrived at their father's home. The pebble stones had shown them the way. Their stepmother that opened the door stared in surprise.
What were you doing in the forest till this hour? We looked all over for you and couldn't find you. I bet you were being mischievous and hiding somewhere, weren't you?
Thus, pretending and fooling the kids. The father happily hugged his children.
Thank heavens you've come back. My eyes are swollen from crying all night.
But their stepmother wasn't giving up easily. Her only goal was to get rid of the children. She asked them how they had found their way back home, and Gretel told her everything one by one. Now that she knew how they came back home, she locked them in their room that night. That night, Hansel couldn't go out to collect pebble stones. The next day, they went to the forest again. This time, since Hansel didn't have pebble stones, while he was walking, he was dropping the breadcrumbs in his pocket onto the ground. The same thing happened, and the children waited by the fire once again.
I'm so scared, Hansel. It's very dark again. Let's go back home.
Don't worry. I couldn't collect pebble stones, but this time we'll follow the breadcrumbs that I dropped.
But when they set off, there were no breadcrumbs, because the birds had eaten all of them.
But where's all the bread?
They went in and out everywhere, but they couldn't find the way.
No way! What are we gonna do now, Hansel? Think of something, and I'm so cold.
Okay, Gretel, don't worry. First, let's find somewhere to warm up. One way or another, we'll find the way back home.
Both completely frightened and exhausted, they found a hollow tree and got inside to warm up. They fell asleep hugging one another. In the morning, they kept walking around the forest, not knowing where to go. 2 days passed by. Whichever way the kids went, they just couldn't find the way. Later, they saw a bird on a tree branch.
Oh, look! What a beautiful bird! It's as if it wants to say something to us. Do you think it'll show us the right way? Let's follow it.
It was a big, magnificent blue bird. The children, forgetting how tired they were, started following the bird. They saw that the bird had landed on the windowsill of a house.
Wow! What a beautiful house! It's as if the bird is calling us to come.
Come on! What are we waiting for? Let's go! We might find something to eat!
When they approached the house, they were completely baffled. It was a beautiful house made entirely of chocolate, cake and candy. The windows were made out of cream and the roof was covered in colourful candies. They started biting away at the house and tearing pieces off.
I'm going to tear off a little from the window side, Gretel. Delicious!
I'm curious about the candies hanging from the roof.
You should taste the doorbell, too.
This way, they filled their bellies with cake, sweets, cream and chocolate.
Hey, anyone there?
Yoo-hoo, we're here.
Helplessly, they decided to sit and wait by the door. A little while later, a sweet-faced, lovely woman holding a bag walked into the garden.
Oh, it seems I have guests. Welcome. My bluebird gave me the news a few minutes ago, so I came as fast as I could.
We're sorry. We've eaten a few things from your house without permission, but me and my sister have been really hungry for 2 days.
It's okay. My house is very special. The parts you have eaten grow back right away. Come on, go inside. You must be cold. Also, if you don't have a home, you can stay with me.
That night, she had them sleep in wonderful beds. And the next day, she prepared a delicious breakfast. Actually, this beautiful woman was an evil witch with treacherous plans. When she went to wake up the kids, Hansel and Gretel, who saw a horrifying witch in front of them, were screaming and wanted to escape from the room. But the witch captured Hansel and threw him in a cage and locked the door. She then threw Gretel into the kitchen.
Ha 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 ha! You stupid kids, you fell for my house made of candy. Go on then, cook the meals that you and your brother like. Get fat, so I can feel my belly more when I eat you. Go on and get started.
Since both children were incredibly clever, in order to not get fat, they only ate enough to survive. Gretel threw away the food on her plate when the witch was not looking, and Hansel hid the food in his jacket and trouser pockets.
Gretel, come here. Let's see if you've gotten any fatter.
The witch first picked up Gretel to check her weight.
You're such a skinny girl. You think that by staying like this, you'll manage to free yourself from me?
The witch pulled Hansel from his jacket. As she was checking him from outside the bars, the food in his jacket and trousers fell out. The witch immediately realized what was going on.
You thought you could trick me, huh? I changed my mind. I'm not going to wait until you get fat. I'm going to cook you both in the oven today. Let this be your punishment. Ha 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 ha!
She was so furious that she kept banging herself into things while she was strangling around the house. Because the witch was actually blind. It was then that Gretel realized that the witch couldn't see. She was by the stove, both crying and also planning on how they can escape.
Gretel, come here, quick! Take a look at the big oven in the kitchen. Tell me, is there enough wood inside?
The fire was burning hot, but Gretel tricked the witch.
The fire's about to go out, my lady.
Then throw in more wood. Quick!
That oven door is stuck. I can't open it.
What a useless girl you are. Skinny and useless. Here, it's this simple.
The witch then opened the oven door. The heat of the burning wood hit her face.
What's going on? You said there was no fire.
The witch stretched her hand out towards the oven to understand what was happening. Taking this opportunity, Gretel pushed the witch into the oven with all her might. When the old witch fell into the oven, she closed and locked the door. The witch's screams could be heard from all around. Gretel opened Hansel's cage and let him out. Both siblings hugged each other tightly. They were very happy.
My dear sister, well done! We're now saved because of you! Gretel, come on! Let's see if we can find something to use at home before we get out of here.
They wandered around the house together. There was a door to a room that the witch never allowed to be opened. When they opened it, they saw a chest full of jewels.
Let's fill our pockets right away. We'll have jewels instead of food this time.
They quickly got away from the house and entered the forest. It was as if all the paths were familiar. Finally, they saw their house from afar.
Father!
We're here!
The father that opened the door happily hugged his children. He was so happy.
Children, I have some news for you. Your stepmother got ill and passed away. I made a huge mistake by listening to her. Please forgive me. I've missed you so very much. I regret everything.
We've missed you too, Father. We missed our home and beds too. Now we can forget about everything and be together.
They took the jewels out of their pockets and gave them to their father.
Oh.
Their father stared with surprise.
What are these?
We're no longer poor. We're rich!
Father, we have so much to tell you. You have no idea what we've been through.
That night they sat by the fire and chatted till morning. The bad days were left behind, so they all lived a happy and peaceful life. Once upon a time, in a forest, there lived a family of mice. They were a very large family. The smallest of the mice, Funduk, was very different from his brothers and sisters. He was very small, and his colour was nothing like his brothers and sisters. In fact, his light brown fur and his deep black eyes made him look incredibly charming. Unfortunately, he was very shy because of his appearance, and this made him upset.
Why am I not grey and black like my siblings? I'm small and I'm weak. How can I protect myself in the forest? Who's there?
He started to become frightened of everything. Even if a simple leaf dropped on the ground, he would jump high. His mother always tried to encourage him to be brave. Why do you worry so much? Every animal is created differently for a reason. Maybe one day you will understand. Please don't be upset. Come on now, give your mother a kiss. But Funduk just couldn't get the courage he wanted or be calm. His brothers and sisters even made fun of him.
Scared Funduk, scared Funduk, scared Funduk.
One day, he got an idea.
This can't go on much longer. I need to find a solution to this. If I'm indeed so scared and if I can't protect myself, then I will go to the Lion King. I'm sure he can protect me and we can then live out all our days together.
He suddenly found himself at the entrance of the Lion King's lair. The large majestic lion was lying down in front of the lair, sleeping and sunbathing at the same time. Funduk went straight up to the lion and touched his nose.
Your Majesty, good day. Please forgive me for waking you up from your sleep.
The Lion King was incredibly angry that he had been woken from his nap.
And who are you, little one? Why are you disturbing me while I sleep?
My name is Funduk the Mouse. I have a request from you.
Go ahead. Tell me what's so incredibly important. Then I want to go back to my nap.
The Lion King shook himself and stood up. He stared at Funduk, feeling annoyed. In fact, Funduk the Mouse was so scared under the glaring eyes of the king, he was actually shaking with fear, but he mustered the courage and explained the situation.
As you can see, I'm a very small mouse, and I'm very scared of the forest. With your permission, I would like to request your protection. Help me, and maybe one day I will be able to help you.
The Lion King roared loudly, and and tried hard not to laugh.
What? You're going to help me? If you were under my feet with one wipe of my paws, you'd go flying in the air. Get lost. Before I get even angrier, go back home.
Feeling utterly helpless, Funduk the mouse returned home and sat sadly in a corner.
Am I ever going to be of any use? I need to find a solution to this right away. But what?
The next day, as the Lion King was exploring the forest, he accidentally got caught in a hunter's trap. He found himself hanging by a tree. He was roaring furiously. The whole forest echoed with his roar. All the animals heard this sound and went to find out what it was. But because they were afraid of the Lion King, they could not help him. The poor Lion King was struggling inside the net. Thank goodness the hunters had not arrived to the forest yet, because it was too early in the morning. When Funduk the mouse heard the loud roar, he and his siblings went to find out what it was. He was incredibly upset at what he saw. Suddenly, he came up with a solution. Although he was small, he was also very clever. He ran towards the tree where the lion was hanging from.
Where are you going?
Where are you going?
Funduk!
Where are you
Don't go
going?
near him!
Funduk the mouse climbed the tree and chewed on the net.
He must be mad! What's he doing? Come on, my brothers and sisters. Come and help me. If we all chew the net together, we can save the lion before the hunters arrive.
All his siblings jumped on the net and tore it apart. As the net fell to the ground, the Lion King stood up and roared. All the other animals hid behind the trees, except Funduk the mouse, of course. The Lion King approached Funduk the mouse.
Little Funduk, you are so clever. You saved my life.
Funduk the mouse bowed in front of the king.
It is an honor to have been able to help you, Your Majesty.
The Lion King stood before Funduk the mouse, feeling ashamed.
Funduk, I was wrong. I thought that because you were very small, you couldn't be of help to me in any way. I hurt you, yet I shouldn't have underestimated anyone.
Because of you, I was able to become confident and brave, and I succeeded in achieving my goal.
The hunters are about to arrive. Come, let's go to my lair. We can talk there.
Whatever you wish, my king.
The Lion King and Funduk the mouse headed for the lair. On the way, the Lion King started teaching Funduk the mouse how to become more courageous.
Funduk, I've been thinking, if you want, I can share my lair with you. What do you say?
Really? Thank you so much. Living with you will be very comfortable and great. In this way, I can also be with my mother and siblings whenever I want.
The Lion King had learned to no longer underestimate anyone, and Funduk the mouse had learnt that it was not bad to be different from everyone else. They became very good friends and lived together happily. Once upon a time, in a very cold country, there lived two little children who were neighbours. They were very good friends. The girl's name was Gerda, and the boy was called Kai. They played together all the time. Every night, Gerda's grandmother would gather them in front of the fireplace and tell them stories. That night, Grandma was telling them the story about the Snow Queen.
Kids, the Snow Queen was a very beautiful girl with deep green eyes. But she was also just as evil. She would use sleighs to trick the children, capture them, and then turn them into ice sculptures. Like her hair, her heart was also made of ice.
Grandma, that's so scary. What if she comes to our house? We need to protect ourselves from her.
Kids, this is actually a true story. Please don't ever get on the sleighs of strangers. If you do, bad things may happen to you.
The next day, Kai and Gerda went out for some sled racing across the snow-covered countryside. Kai was still in the effect of Grandma's story.
Gerda, when I went to bed last night, I thought of something. I wonder if the Snow Queen can be melted. If we can get her near the fireplace, maybe we can melt her. This way the spell she casted on all those frozen children will be broken and they'll be set free.
Kai, please lower your voice. Maybe she can hear us and will get very angry. We must be careful.
I will melt the Snow Queen.
In fact, the Snow Queen could hear even a whisper from anywhere in the country. After hearing Kai laughing and making fun of her, the Snow Queen decided that she would bring Kai to her palace and turn him into an ice sculpture forever. She immediately sent a beautiful reindeer-drawn sleigh to where the children were.
Oh my God, what a beautiful sleigh this is! Do you think we should hop on and try it, Gerda? According to the story, the Snow Queen also has a sleigh, but this can't be it. Look how beautiful this is! It's covered in silver and so shiny!
No, Kai, don't get on. Remember what Grandma said?
She warned us not to get on any stranger's sleigh.
It's so beautiful. I'll ride it just for a little and then get off right away.
As soon as Kai got on the sleigh, the reindeers took off right up in the air. Within seconds, they were out of sight. The Snow Queen was having him taken to her castle. Kai was very scared and regretful for not listening to Gerda. But it was too late. Months passed and they didn't hear from Kai at all. Gerda was very sad and was crying all the time. She kept waiting for her dear friend. Her best friend was lost, but she was certain that the Snow Queen had captured him. Seasons passed, the snow melted, and summer arrived. Gerda was worried sick, so she finally went to talk to her grandmother.
Grandma, I'm going off to search for Kai. I'm so worried about him and I've missed him so much. Please, let me go.
On one condition, Gerda. I trust you a lot, and you are a brave girl. But I have a magic mirror, and I want you to take it with you.
What good is this mirror to me, Grandma?
When you come face to face with the Snow Queen, make her look into this mirror. Only then you will see its use.
Gerda placed the mirror in her bag and left. While going through the forest, she came across a small cottage. She knocked on the door because she was tired and wanted to rest a little. A sweet old lady opened the door. Actually, she was a sorcerer who always did good spells.
Come in, pretty girl. We were waiting for you. I know why you're here, and I'm going to help you. You're searching for your best friend Kai. My cat Cotton will tell you where he is.
Really? Thank you so much.
Gerda immediately went next to Cotton, who was lying on a pillow by the fireplace.
Dear Cotton, how can I find my friend Kai?
Meow. There's a little girl in the cottage at the end of the forest. She told me to send you there as soon as you arrived. She knows where your friend is. Meow.
Gerda thanked them and left. She walked and walked, and when she reached the cottage at the end of the forest, night had already fallen. A little girl met her before she came and knocked on the door.
Welcome, Gerda. I was expecting you. Please sit by the fire and have something to eat.
I'm really tired and hungry. Thank you so much.
After you eat, get some rest. Tomorrow I will send you to the Snow Queen's palace. Don't worry.
In the morning, they went to the barn in the back, where there were 2 beautiful reindeers. The little girl could talk to the reindeers. She whispered to their ears to take Gerda to the Snow Queen's palace. Right away, they prepared a beautiful sleigh.
I don't know how to thank you for helping me.
Have a nice trip. Don't be scared. My reindeers will take you to the palace and you will find your friend Kai. Take these with you.
Gerda set off on the road with the reindeers pulling on the sleigh. They travelled for several days. Everywhere was covered with white snow. Thankfully, the little girl had given Gerda a thick coat, a hat, and a warm blanket.
I'm covered with a warm blanket while traveling on a sleigh. I'd be so happy if I could do this with Kai. Hopefully we can do it on our way back.
After journeying for days, they finally arrived in front of a shimmering white castle. Gerda realized that they had arrived at the Snow Queen's castle.
My dear reindeers, wait for me here. I'm going to go get my friend and come right back.
She went right into the castle. Everything was made of ice and was covered with icicles. She wandered around the entire castle, but there was absolutely no one around.
Kai! Kai! Where are you? Kai! I can't find you.
Her voice was echoing in the empty castle. When she finally opened the door of a room on the top floor, suddenly she saw Kai. He was standing like a statue in the middle of the room.
Kai! Kai! Wake up! Talk to me! I've missed you so much, my dear friend. I've finally found you.
She was crying and rubbing all over and trying to melt the ice. She cried and cried so much that her tears started melting the ice around Kai. Suddenly, Kai came alive and started talking.
Gerda, I know you would come for me. I also missed you, and I'm so happy to see you.
We'll talk about everything later, Kai. Let's get out of here right away.
Right then, the Snow Queen returned to the castle and walked into the room where they were standing. She was terrifying. Gerda was seeing her for the first time. With her long white hair and deep green eyes, the Snow Queen was a beautiful woman. The Snow Queen started to shout with anger.
How dare you, entering my castle without permission and melting my sculpture? Now it's your turn. You asked for it. You will also be one of my sculptures. Ha 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 ha.
Gerda was terrified, but she knew that she had to stand up against the Snow Queen. Suddenly, she remembered the mirror that her grandmother had given her.
I've never seen anyone quite as beautiful as you. But unfortunately, your heart is not as beautiful. I feel sorry for you. You can turn me into an ice sculpture if you wish, but my grandmother sent you a mirror. Can you look at it once?
Give me that mirror. Why did she send this to me?
The Snow Queen took the mirror in her hands and was shocked, because the reflection in the mirror was of her as a child. She was a pretty little girl with long blonde hair and deep green eyes.
Oh my God, what's happening?
At that moment, a cloud of dust surrounded the Queen. Getting smaller and smaller, she turned into a small, beautiful girl. A miracle had taken place. The mirror was in fact magical. Those who looked into it would see their true selves. It seemed that the Snow Queen had been very sad as a child because no one had played with her. One day, a sorcerer said to the Snow Queen, "You have to punish them," and asked if she wanted to seek revenge on those who didn't play with her. Filled with sadness as a child, she had made the wrong decision and had said yes. The sorceress turned her into the Snow Queen and filled her heart with evil. Since the mirror had broken the terrible curse, everyone was now filled with joy. "Thank you so much. I'm saved now. My heart is filled with kindness once again." Kai and Gerda went to the reindeers that awaited them, journeyed back the way they had come, and returned to their old happy days. And of course, to their grandmother's stories. Once upon a time, a long time ago, in a faraway land, there was a forest that had many different animals. They all lived there together and all got along very well. When winter ended, they would celebrate together the coming of spring. This was the time when bears would awake from hibernation, the rabbits, gazelles, and squirrels would jump for joy in the sun. They would enjoy the sunny weather, chatter away, and have a lot of fun. Every spring, there would be different activities. One day, the animals were discussing what sort of activities and competitions they should have for that spring celebration. They would have a long jump competition, best cooking contest, fast eating competition, and much more. However, all the animals wanted to organize competitions that they were good at.
I think this year we should organize a competition for picking the most apples from trees.
We did that last year. I think we should organize a fast-eating competition. What do you say?
I think it should be collecting walnuts. I'd win for sure.
Miss Gazelle had another idea. Look, friends, I have an idea. In order to make this year's competition as fair as possible, we will have a draw. Pick 2 names, and whoever manages to go round the forest the fastest will win. What do you say?
Ooh, draws! I love them.
What? A race? What if I'm picked? As a bear, I can say I'm not very fast at running. I'm not going to join.
Done! I'm very lucky. I am sure I'll be picked.
They determined a starting and finishing point. Those that wanted to join in the forest race wrote down their names and handed them to Miss Gazelle. Then she, by creating a draw, picked the 2 who would be racing against each other.
I'm going to join this competition for sure. I'm certain that I'll beat anyone who races against me. Because, as you all know, I'm the fastest in this forest.
The hare was a know-it-all and very conceited. Everyone hoped that someone would teach him a lesson. All the animals waited in anticipation to see who would be taking part in the race. Miss Gazelle started to draw the names. Okay, friends, the results of our draw are in. Our races are Hare and Tortoise. Everyone was very upset at the results of the draw. They were talking among themselves.
The tortoise would definitely stay behind in the race. We'll have to put up with even more boasting from the hare.
We're toast!
The end of this race is already clear.
The tortoise, who heard all the animals speaking, said,
I may be very slow, but I never give up.
Mr. Tortoise, the hare is very fast, but you... Everyone knows that you're a little slow. How could you win?
Like I said, we can never know. Sometimes being the fastest at something isn't enough. What's important is to never give up. Whatever happens, I will take my chance and race.
All the animals in the forest joined together at the starting point. The hare and the tortoise took their positions and waited on the squirrel to lower the race flag he held in his hands.
Come on then, Mr. Tortoise. Are you ready to race me? Let's see how fast you are. Ha 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 ha. Dum 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 dum. Ha 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 ha.
Let's see.
Whoever comes to the finishing point in the forest wins. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
The hare immediately rushed forward from the starting point. The tortoise, however, was walking slowly, inch by inch.
I told you so. The result of the competition is clear.
The hare ran, ran, and at some point looked behind him.
There's no one coming or going. It's impossible for the tortoise to reach me. No need to stress myself out. Let me rest a little and then continue.
The hare, wanting only to rest, fell fast asleep. The tortoise, however, sweating away, was not giving up and continued to walk.
This road is too long for me, but no matter how tired I get, I will not give up.
The tortoise was walking with such determination and certainty in order to finish the race that he didn't even notice the sleeping hare under the tree. He just simply walked past him and continued on.
The hare must have reached the finishing point. But even if I'm to lose this race, I will finish it with pride.
Slowly, the finishing line of the race was starting to appear. He was getting closer and closer. The hare suddenly awoke from his sleep and started to walk towards the finishing line. He was so sure of himself, he didn't even feel the need to run.
I rested very well. Let me continue so I can finish this race and we can all start to celebrate. I'm the fastest in the forest.
After walking for some time, he started to see the finishing line from far away. But what was that? Clapping and cheering. He was in shock.
Bravo! Bravo! You won!
You taught the hare a good lesson, Mr. Tortoise.
Well done, buddy.
All the animals gathered around the tortoise who had crossed the finishing line. The hare walked up to them, ashamed of himself. He no longer had the know-it-all or conceited attitude that they were all so used to seeing.
But, how?
You must never see yourself above anyone else. Working hard and being determined is always the best way to move forward.
Yes, I think you're right, Mr. Tortoise. I belittled you and trusted myself too much. I congratulate you.
The hare never again said that he was the fastest. The tortoise had taught him a very good lesson, and all the animals in the forest lived together in harmony, peace, and happiness, as always.
Hey guys! Subscribe to our channel KONDOSAN and watch the most popular fairy tales, cartoons, and nursery rhymes. Don't forget to click the bell for notifications.
KONDOSAN!
Once upon a time, in the middle of a lush forest, there lived Mother Goat and her 7 little goats. One of the little goats woke up early in the morning and looked outside the window. She was surprised to see it was snowing. She started jumping around and shouted excitedly,
Hey, wake up! It's snowing! Snow! Hooray!
Her siblings jumped out of bed and rushed to the window.
Yes! Yes, it's snowing! Hooray!
Wow!
Mother Goat, who heard her kids' excited shouts, came into the room.
I have good news for you. This afternoon, the biggest pine tree at the town square will be decorated for New Year's.
Yay!
But Mom, that's a giant tree. Aw, it'll take hours to decorate.
Yes, you're right. That's why the townspeople will be there helping.
I love New Year's Day.
Hooray!
The little goats and their mother wore their coats, gloves and berets and went outside. They enjoyed watching the snow falling.
Let's make a snowman when we get to the square.
Let's have a snowball fight too!
Yes, that'll be fun!
They got on their sleds and slid through the town square. The last little goat couldn't find his sled in the house.
Mom, I can't find my sled. Mom, where are you? Where are you all? My gosh, they left me behind. I have to find my sled immediately.
Suddenly, he saw 2 long ears in front of the window.
Oh, I see Wicked Wolf. I have to be careful.
These wretched goats, they left the windows open, so I'll take all the food from their kitchen and prepare myself a feast for New Year.
This wicked wolf won't steal our food. I'll show him.
The little goat ran to the kitchen. Grabbed the bottle of cooking oil and hot pepper and poured them under the window. The wicked wolf entered through the window and stepped on the oil. He slipped and fell.
Help! I'm burning!
I got you!
I'll show you! Just wait until my tongue gets better! He thinks I'm entering through the window, but I'll surprise him. This time I'm going in through the front door.
This wicked wolf will probably try to enter through the door. I'll set a trap there too.
The little goat put a bucket of ice-cold water over the door, attached a string to it, and hid behind the clock.
Now you'll see, you wicked wolf.
That miserable little goat is in for a big surprise when he sees all the food is gone.
The wicked wolf opened the door and entered quietly. At that moment, the bucket filled with ice water fell over him.
You're trying in vain. You will never enter this house.
The frozen wolf hit the tree and got very angry.
This time I'm going to use a different entrance, one that he won't imagine.
I'm sure the wicked wolf hasn't given up, and he'll try entering down the chimney, but I am ahead of him.
The little goat gathered all the needles he found in the house and put them in the fireplace. Then he covered them.
This time, I'm going to get that mean little goat. Can I fit in this chimney? My ears are kind of big for the hole, but I'll make them fit, no doubt. It's too dark in here. My ear hurts too, but I'll get a lot of food.
The little goat heard the rattling from the chimney, so he knew the wolf was coming down. Meanwhile, the other 6 little goats and their mother had arrived at the town square and were amazed when they saw the lit-up giant tree. They were serving scones, chocolate cake, and hot milk at the tables around. Everybody started decorating the tree and hanging the ornaments. The little goats hung their ornaments in the higher branches by climbing on each other's shoulders.
Make a wish when you hang your ornaments.
Hurry up! Hang your ornament. I will make a wish as I hang mine too.
The little goat on the top looked down and noticed one sibling was missing.
Wait, we're only 6.
What? We left our brother at home.
The wolf was finally able to come down the chimney. But before he put his feet on the ground, he noticed a glare. He realized that there were needles. It was a trap.
You can't fool me this time. I saw the needles, you mean goat.
Oh no! I need to call for help immediately!
When the little goat rushed out of the house, he saw his siblings approaching. He told them what had happened.
Is that so? That wicked wolf will see what happens when you try to steal from goats.
Here's the plan.
A while later, the wolf left, carrying a big bag full of food.
Nobody can outsmart me. I'm very clever. I'm super tough. My eyes.
Then, all the little goats started throwing the snowballs that they had scooped and made.
Take this! Take that, you
That
wicked wolf!
You wicked wolf!
Ah! Stop! It's snowballing from everywhere. Help me! Save me!
The wolf let go of the bag with food and ran. He collided with a tree and all the snow on the branches fell on him. The little goat snapped a picture of the wolf looking like a snowman.
We're going to hang this picture in the town square, you wicked wolf!
I hate snowman. And now, I've turned into one.
He looks so funny!
Snow wolf!
We showed him.
Let's go back! We need to finish decorating the tree. There's very little time to New Year's Day.
The little goats went back to town happily. The townspeople started the countdown together. The last 10 seconds of New Year's Eve.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! I wish the New Year brings us happiness and health.
Hey, guys, help! The wolf trapped us in balloons. Press here, then here on your phone or tablet. Download our game and rescue us. We are waiting for you.
Once upon a time, there was a girl named Rapunzel who lived in a seaside town. She had long blonde hair and a beautiful smile.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rapunzel.
Rapunzel loved making videos about the places she visited. Her classmates and teachers also enjoyed Rapunzel's videos and encouraged her to make more. I think you should make more time for this, Rapunzel.
Yes, your videos are great. More people should see them.
You're exaggerating. Why would anyone watch my videos?
I beg to differ. There are a lot of silly videos on the internet. Yours, on the other hand, contain beautiful imagery and useful information. You read a lot. You must make good use of that talent.
At last, Rapunzel gave it some serious thought. Who knows? If her videos have high viewership, maybe she could become a famous YouTuber one day.
All right, but I don't know what to do.
Don't worry. Come over to my house tomorrow after school. We'll figure something out.
Rapunzel walked away happily while her friends watched in admiration. Except for one, Evelia. Evelia was jealous of Rapunzel and saw her as a rival in almost everything she did. She wanted to be the most popular person in the school. But as much as she tried, Rapunzel always surpassed her in her popularity, which drove Evelia crazy. Rapunzel dreamed all night about what she would do if she became a YouTuber. In the morning, she rushed out without even having a breakfast.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Rapunzel. Welcome. Come in. I did some research. Let me tell you, this task is not easy.
I've thought of many things to do, ma'am.
Ta-da!
But, ma'am?
This is my gift to you.
But,
Meanwhile, Evelia was eavesdropping on them next to the living room open window.
How touching! I don't know what they see in that girl. I'm way more intelligent and talented. I also have my own money to buy a camera.
Why don't you shoot amazing videos that will impress people? You have what it takes.
Ha! I'm going to show them who's got what it takes.
Before I forget, you'll also need a microphone and a computer program to edit the videos. I've got them all arranged for you.
Rapunzel hugged her teacher and left bursting with happiness. She wanted to introduce her town in the first video. After some planning, she went out to shoot the most beautiful sights across town and interviewed some of the townspeople. Even the mayor took some time off to be interviewed by Rapunzel. She created a YouTube channel and uploaded her video there. Rapunzel was so excited that she was checking her phone every 10 minutes for the status on viewers and comments. The first night was a big disappointment. The next morning she woke up to the same situation. She was a little down. She went to her teacher immediately.
Where did I go wrong?
You did nothing wrong, my child.
Then why am I not getting hits or comments?
Patience. You have to continue making videos so people will get to know you.
Rapunzel took her teacher's advice and got to work. She would make a video per day and upload them to her YouTube channel. She had no difficulties since she had them all planned out in detail. Jealous Evelia was not sitting idly at that time either. She also created her own YouTube channel and started making videos. One morning, Rapunzel woke up. On the way, she checked her YouTube channel and was surprised to see thousands of views. Hundreds of people had subscribed to her channel and left hundreds of positive comments. Just then, a friend of hers came running towards her. Guess what happened last night while you slept?
Something certainly happened.
A social media influencer who has millions of followers watched one of your videos and recommended it to his followers.
Our teacher was right all along.
When she arrived at school, everyone congratulated Rapunzel. Except for one, Evelia. She was pacing up and down, filled with envy, taking her anger out on everyone she came across. Meanwhile, Rapunzel and her friends were busy reading the comments.
See this? I loved your town. Gonna visit this summer.
And someone from abroad wrote the same thing too. They'll come to our town for vacation from thousands of miles away. The comments made Rapunzel very happy. She felt great about her accomplishment. Rapunzel hugged her teacher happily.
The mayor wants to see you. He wants to give you a small prize for your contribution to our town's recognition.
Dear Rapunzel introduced our small town to the world and helped it become a touristic attraction. I thank her in the name of our town.
I've gotta stop her. If I can't be as good of a YouTuber as she is, then I can prevent her.
Evelia plotted something devious. She wanted to put it into effect as soon as possible and take the wind out of Rapunzel's sails. Evelia waited till midnight. After everybody went to sleep, she stealthily approached Rapunzel's house. First, she had a quick look around. She stood in front of Rapunzel's bedroom window. After making sure there was no one around, she pushed the already ajar window open. Rapunzel was sleeping soundly. Evelia sneaked in and took Rapunzel's camera, microphone, and computer in an attempt to destroy them, thus hindering Rapunzel's video making. Just as she was about to get out, Evelia tripped over Rapunzel's hair and fell on the ground. Rapunzel's dog Hazelnut woke up and jumped on Evelia and started licking her face. Just then, Rapunzel turned on the lights and was shocked to find Evelia there. Evelia ran away in shame. Her camera, microphone, and computer were all smashed when Evelia hit the floor. She felt so sad. The next day, Rapunzel shot a video of her broken equipment. Using her old cell phone and uploaded the video to her channel. Her followers who saw her so sad brought her brand new equipment. Evelia was ashamed and hid in her house for a long time. Rapunzel became even more famous with the videos she made, both in social media and YouTube. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, lived a boy named Aladdin. His father passed away when he was very young, so he was in charge now of supporting his mother. He would help people in the market and try to earn some money to bring food home, because they were very poor. But Aladdin was kind-hearted, so everyone loved him very much. One day, on his way to the market, a well-dressed, evil-eyed man approached him.
Hello, young man. I need to ask you for a favor. I dropped my ring into a small crevice just ahead. I can't get in. Can you go in and get it for me?
Together, they walked toward the crevice where the man had pointed out. The hole was just big enough for Aladdin to enter. He barely went through the hole. Inside, there was a small gas lamp which lit a cave. It was full of gold, money, and jewels. The man called out from above.
If you found my ring, you'll also see an old lamp there next to it. I want you to bring me both of them.
Aladdin was shocked at the sight in the cave, so he got very suspicious that the man only wanted an old lamp and a ring, while the place was filled with money and jewelry.
This doesn't make any sense, but... Okay, I'm coming out.
When he came to the top of the hole, the evil-eyed man yelled at him.
Hurry! Give me the lamp!
No, I need to get out first.
If you don't do as I say, I'll leave you in there. Give me the lamp!
I said no. Let me get out first.
The man got very angry and trapped Aladdin there. Aladdin didn't know what to do in the dark, so he took the lamp and put the ring on his finger. At that moment, green smoke came out and a genie appeared before him. Frightened, Aladdin hid right away.
Don't be afraid, Aladdin. I will do you a favor. I will grant you whatever you want. But you only have 3 wishes.
Please take me home.
This was Aladdin's first wish. Suddenly, he found himself in his room. At that time, his mother, who was also in the room, asked, "Ooh, when did you come in?" Aladdin told his mother everything that had happened to him.
I didn't have anything to eat today because of everything that happened. Do we have anything to eat, Mother?
I'm sorry, son, but we have nothing to eat since you didn't bring any money today. Desperately sitting in a corner, Aladdin wanted to spend time cleaning the lamp, which was very dirty. He took the lamp in his hands, and as he was rubbing it, all of a sudden the lamp genie came out of the lamp.
Say what you wish of me.
Oh my goodness! Who are you?
I'm the lamp genie. You saved me from that sorcerer. So now your wish is my command. Say what you wish of me.
My mother and I are starving. We want a table full of food. Can you do this?
Suddenly, a table full of different kinds of food appeared. Aladdin and his mother ate until they were completely satisfied. From that day on, thanks to the magic lamp, a very rich and happy life awaited them. And that's what really happened. Years passed by and Aladdin became a young man. He was at the marrying age.
Mother, I would like to get married.
My dear son, I'm so happy. You'll have the most beautiful girl in the country, and I know just who that is. The Sultan has a beautiful daughter. Her name is Jasmine. What do you say? Aladdin immediately appeared before the Sultan with a small chest full of jewels and told him of his intention.
Dear Sultan, with your permission, I would like to marry your daughter.
It's not that easy. Will you be able to grant my requests?
Whatever you ask, dear Sultan.
Then listen to me well. You will bring 100 soldiers. These soldiers will protect my palace, but all of them should have solid gold hearts in their hands.
Your wish is my command, dear Sultan.
Aladdin went back home and took care of this with the help of the lamp genie. The next day, the Sultan saw in his garden 100 soldiers carrying solid gold hearts in their hands.
Well, since you managed this, I would also like you to build a magnificent palace for my daughter. Only then I will agree that you marry.
Aladdin immediately called the lamp genie. He gladly did whatever Aladdin asked for because he owed his freedom to him.
Say what you wish of me.
I want a magnificent palace for the Sultan's daughter.
The lamp genie clapped his hands twice and a big palace appeared next to their house. Since all of the Sultan's requests had been granted, he approved the marriage. They had a wedding ceremony that lasted 40 days and 40 nights. They soon moved into their palace, and one day, a salesman was passing in front of the palace.
Old lamps! Old lamps! I buy and sell!
I can sell this old lamp to the salesman and get a new one. I think Aladdin will be very happy. The salesman, in fact, was the sorcerer Aladdin met when he was a child. He took the old lamp and gave a new one to Jasmine. The magic lamp was now his. In the evening when Aladdin returned home, he noticed that the palace was gone. He immediately figured out what had happened. He put on the magic ring and called the giant.
Say what you wish of me, but you only have 2 wishes left.
Take me to Jasmine. Hurry up!
All of a sudden, he was in the palace. When he went upstairs and peeked into the open door, he saw Jasmine serving the sorcerer and preparing the table. Aladdin got upset and waited for Jasmine to come to the kitchen. When she entered the kitchen and saw Aladdin, she was surprised. Aladdin, what's going on?
Shh! Be quiet and wait. I will save you.
Aladdin put the ring on his finger right away, and the giant appeared before him.
You only have 1 wish left.
Yes, I know. This is my last wish from you. Freeze the sorcerer and turn him into a sculpture.
All right, here you go.
Suddenly, the sorcerer froze and turned into a sculpture. Aladdin had his lamp once again, so he called the lamp genie.
Say what you wish of me, but don't ever lose me again.
Take us and our palace to our old place. Also send this evil man to a deserted island where he can't hurt anyone.
The lamp genie clapped twice and the palace appeared next to their old house. Their mother was also with them. They told Jasmine everything. After that, Jasmine, Aladdin, and his mother lived a very rich and happy life together.
Hey, guys, help! The wolf trapped us in balloons. Press here, then here on your phone or tablet. Download our game and rescue us. We are waiting for you.
Once upon a time, In a faraway country, there lived two brothers, Ali Baba and Kasim. Ali Baba, a poor woodcutter, was a kind and honest man. Meanwhile, Kasim, the older brother, was a jealous and greedy man with an evil heart. One day, as Ali Baba was cutting and collecting logs in the forest, he saw a large group of horsemen coming towards him. Trembling with fear, he climbed up a tree. Even his donkey got so frightened that the poor thing hid behind the bushes.
Good heavens! 1, 2, 3, 40 of them! I guess these are the infamous 40 thieves who steal gold and jewels from others. I had better stay up here until they are gone.
Ali Baba curiously started to watch the 40 thieves. The leader of the thieves got off of his horse in front of a rock and shouted,
"Open sesame!"
With a loud crashing sound, a big rock that served as a door opened up and the men entered the cave.
I had better not climb down the tree, I'll just wait here. They all had saddlebags. They probably keep the stolen goods inside the cave. Oh God, help me.
Frightened and bewildered, Ali Baba didn't move a muscle and remained silent. After a while, the huge rock reopened and the thieves came out.
Close sesame!
The thieves left, riding their horses again. Though Ali Baba was afraid, he was extremely curious. He climbed down the tree, walked to the entrance of the cave, only after he was certain that the thieves were gone. He said the magic words.
Open sesame!
The cave's door opened with a rumbling sound.
Wow! It opened when I said the magic words too.
Ali Baba entered the cave a little hesitant. It was dark inside. A narrow passage led to the depth of the cave. After walking for a few minutes, he reached an open space. This was where the thieves kept all their treasure. Ali Baba was amazed by what he saw. He couldn't believe his eyes. All the gold, jewels, and coins the thieves had stolen were piled up. He was so astonished.
Gosh, this is where they keep the stolen goods. What a big treasure. God knows from where and whom they stole all this. Whatever, I'm taking a sack full of this and leave before the thieves come back. Open sesame!
He got on his donkey and rode back home. When he got home, he told his wife everything. She rejoiced immensely at their great fortune, but was also very nervous.
Ali, these gold coins are not ours. I think we should bury them. We'll figure out what to do with them later.
You're right, I guess, but I wonder how much gold we have here.
So do I. Should we count it?
Counting piece by piece is no good. Ask my brother Kasim to lend us his scale. We'll weigh them and then hide them.
The next day, Ali Baba's wife went to Kasim's place to borrow the scales.
Good morning. Can I borrow your scales?
Kasim's wife was a very curious woman, so before handing the scale to Ali Baba's wife, she placed chewing gum underneath the scale pans. She wanted to know what they were going to weigh. When Ali Baba's wife returned home, she handed the scales to Ali Baba and they started to weigh the gold. And Then they buried them in the garden as they had agreed. The next day, they returned the scales without noticing that a golden coin was stuck to the gum underneath the pan. Both Kasim and his wife were surprised when they found the gold coin.
Good heavens! Where did my brother find these gold coins?
I have no clue. I thought they would weigh flour or something else, but they were weighing gold.
I have to find out. I'll get the truth out of him.
Since he was a greedy man, he rushed to Ali Baba's house to find out where he had gotten the gold coins.
Hi, Ali. Something weird happened. I found a gold coin stuck to one of the scale pans. You are a poor woodcutter. Where did that gold coin come from?
Ali Baba did not want to answer at first, but since he couldn't lie, he told his brother everything. Knowing how greedy his brother was, he warned him in advance.
Don't you dare go there! Those gold coins are not ours. The thieves could kill us if they found out.
All right. You're such a coward. That's why you are and you'll always be a poor woodcutter.
Since Kasim loved money and gold so much, he ignored his brother's warning. He got 2 donkeys and rushed to the cave Ali Baba told him about.
Open, Sesame!
The door immediately opened. He was so mesmerized by all the gold before him that he started rolling on the heaps of gold.
Hooray! I am rich! I am rich! Hooray! I am rich!
He loaded the crates with gold and walked to the exit. But once there, he couldn't remember the magic words.
What am I going to do now? Was it rice? Open rice. No, wheat it must be. Open wheat. Could it be potato by any chance? Open potato. I got it this time. Open tomato. Oh no! It won't open. What was it?
Kasim tried his hardest to remember the magic word when suddenly the door opened. The thieves were back. They caught Kasim red-handed.
Who are you? What are you doing in our cave? How did you get in?
My name is Kasim. I am Ali Baba's older brother. He told me about your cave and sent me to get more gold. Please forgive me. I am innocent. Go get Ali Baba instead.
Despite what he said, the leader of the thieves tied Kasim with a rope.
Now, tell me where I can find this Ali Baba.
Scared out of his mind, he did as he was told. The leader of the thieves didn't want anybody to know about their secret cave, so he wanted to find Ali Baba to imprison him in the cave. Kasim didn't return that day, so his wife was concerned. She went to Ali Baba's house and told him that Kasim hadn't come back. She was very sad. Ali Baba suspected what might have happened. Right before leaving, he noticed there was a cross painted on his door.
What is this sign?
I think I know what it is. I'll be right back.
Being a clever woman, Ali Baba's wife understood that the thieves had marked their house. So she came up with a plan. She painted a cross sign on every door in the neighborhood in order to confuse the thieves. At midnight, when the thieves came to the neighborhood to get Ali Baba, they saw that every single door was marked with a cross. They couldn't tell which was Ali Baba's place.
All the doors are marked. We can't find Ali Baba. We have to get back.
The next day, the leader of the thieves found out exactly where Ali Baba lived. He hid his gang of thieves in 40 barrels and filled the 41st barrel with oil. He knocked on Ali Baba's door.
Good evening. I'm an oil merchant. I come from very far. Can you let me spend the night here? In return for your kindness, I'll give you a barrel of oil.
Being the kind-hearted man Ali Baba was, he wanted to help, so he let him in.
Sure, come on in. We were about to have supper. You are welcome to join us.
They sat at the table. While Ali Baba and the leader of the thieves were eating, Ali Baba's clever wife grew suspicious of the man. She went down to the cellar and checked the barrels.
Are you in there?
Yeah, is it time? Shall we come out?
Not yet. Wait for my instructions.
Ali Baba's wife realized what was going on and rushed to the kitchen. She boiled some oil in a pot and poured it onto one of the barrels. The thief that was hidden in the barrel screamed in pain when he got burned and ran out of the house. This alerted the other thieves, who also left the house upon hearing the screams. Only the leader of the thieves remained, but he was also scared now and directly gave the order.
Get out of the barrels now! It's time!
To his surprise, he saw Ali Baba's wife holding a scoop full of boiling oil standing in his way. To avoid the same fate of his gang, as he tried to escape, Ali Baba and his son caught him and tied him with a rope, and they turned him into the authorities. Now it was time to save his brother Kasim. Ali Baba rushed to the cave.
Open sesame!
Kasim was inexplicably happy to see his brother.
Thank goodness. I no longer care about gold or coins anymore. I was scared to death. Get me out of this place, Ali Baba, please.
I told you you should not covet so much of worldly goods. It may cause you a lot of trouble.
Thanks to Ali Baba, the thieves never returned to that country. The gold coins were distributed equally to all the residents. Their country was blessed with abundance. Ali Baba and Kasim lived happily and peacefully with their families.
KONDOSAN.
Once upon a time, there lived a family who had a daughter named Cinderella. They were a very happy family. However, once their kind-hearted mother suddenly passed away, their happiness came to an end. Cinderella's father married another woman soon after. The woman had 2 spoiled and spiteful daughters. They were just as unkind as their mother. They all came to live in the house. Cinderella now had 2 stepsisters and a stepmother. Everyone loved Cinderella, who was incredibly kind and beautiful. She had long blonde hair, ocean blue-coloured eyes, and delicate feet and hands. Her only friend was a tabby cat. When she finished her chores, she would take her cat on her lap, sit by the fireplace, and tell him about her misfortune. She always told him how much she missed her mother. That's why Cinderella was nicknamed Cindercat. Unfortunately, soon after, her father died too. The stepsisters and stepmother gave Cinderella a room in the attic.
You can't stay on the same floor as us. You're better suited up there.
Please, let me and my cat get warmed up by the fireplace. Only after we go to bed. The ashes of the fireplace should be enough for you. Your clothes are ripped and torn. We don't want to see you around.
Poor Cinderella accepted her fate. Every night she would sit next to the fireplace and try to warm herself with the cinders left in it. One day, a soldier stopped by their home to invite all girls who were of age to marry to a ball at the palace.
Our king is to leave his throne to his son. The only condition is for him to marry a suitable girl. How many girls are there in this house who are of age?
Joyously, the mother presented her own 2 daughters.
I have 2 beautiful girls.
Then who is that girl that I see in the kitchen wiping the floors?
She's our housemaid. How could we bring her to the palace?
It doesn't matter. I must write her name down as well.
Even if you write her name down, it won't matter. She has no clothes or shoes to wear. Go ahead, write it down.
Cinderella begged her stepmother.
Please, give me one of my sister's dresses, so I can come too.
No, you will not go. You will clean the floors until we come back. Do you think the prince will choose you over my daughters, the Cinder Cat?
The 3 of them mocked Cinderella and chased her away. Finally, the day of the ball arrived.
Ooh!
All dressed up, they went to the ball and left Cinderella behind. Cinderella cried hopelessly. Right at that moment, a glowing fairy appeared before Cinderella.
Don't worry, I'll get you to the ball.
Who are you?
I'm the good fairy who helps kind-hearted girls. Your mother has sent me here to help you. She is watching over you from above. Let's get to it. Find me a large pumpkin and 6 mice.
Cinderella did what the fairy asked of her right away. She brought the pumpkin, and the mice in her room, who were already her friends, came running to help. With a wand in her hand, the fairy turned the pumpkin into a fantastic carriage. 4 mice into white horses, 1 mouse into a coachman, and 1 into a footman. Finally, it was Cinderella's turn. The fairy touched her head with her wand and turned her into a wonderful princess.
Remember, don't stay past midnight. The spell will break after 12 o'clock. You must leave the ball before 12. Good luck!
Cinderella got in the carriage and went straight to the palace. As soon as she entered the ballroom, everyone stared at her and held their breath. They were curious to learn who she was. She must be a princess from another country. They asked themselves, who else would arrive in such a magnificent carriage and wear exquisite jewels? The prince, who saw Cinderella, came up to her immediately.
My lady, will you dance with me?
With pleasure, His Royal Highness.
It was love at first sight. The prince danced with Cinderella all night. The king and queen also really liked Cinderella. This girl would suit us and our palace as well. She's noble and beautiful. We have found our bride. All the other girls at the ball, including the stepmother and stepsisters, were huffing and puffing with jealousy.
Where do you come from? Where do you live? What's your name?
Time passed by really quickly. Cinderella, who saw that it was almost 12 o'clock, left the prince unexpectedly and ran out of the palace. As she hurried down the palace stairs, she lost one of her glass shoes. But because she was in such a hurry, she left it behind, got in the carriage, and went home. At exactly midnight, everything turned into what it was before. The prince, who had run after Cinderella, was in complete shock. He hadn't been able to catch up to her but he found her glass shoe on the stairs. When Cinderella came home, she was surprised at what she saw. The house was sparkling clean. There was even a hot soup brewing on the stove. The fairy had sorted this out too. When Cinderella went to her room, she was very sad.
But what now? I'll never be able to see the prince again.
Don't worry. Everything will be okay. Meanwhile, the prince thought only about the beautiful girl who had run away from the ball.
I must find her. I will take no other as my queen. Tomorrow we will try this shoe on every girl's foot that attended the ball last night and across the city. If the shoe fits someone, then that girl will be my queen.
The next day, soldiers walked door to door and asked all the girls who had attended the ball to try on the glass shoe. Everyone wore the shoe with excitement, but it didn't fit anyone. Finally, it was time for Cinderella's home. Everyone was incredibly excited. The stepsisters spent hours massaging and creaming their feet in order to shorten them. And they locked Cinderella in the attic. Yet, the shoe didn't fit either of the sisters' feet.
Come on.
Just as the soldiers were about to leave, they heard a sound from upstairs. Cinderella had managed to catch their attention by knocking down a cupboard.
What's that sound? Who's upstairs?
The house cat. There's no one.
No cat can make such a noise. Don't lie. Let's go upstairs and have a look.
Immediately.
Huh?
They got Cinderella out of the locked room and asked her to try on the glass shoe.
Oh.
The shoe fit perfectly. Cinderella showed them the other pair. The soldiers knew that they had found the princess and ran to the palace to deliver the good news. The prince joyously arrived at Cinderella's house and recognized her right away.
Will you marry me and be my princess?
Having received the answer as yes, he took her to the palace. Cinderella told him about everything that had happened to her.
Everything was fine.
They got married with a wedding lasting 40 days and 40 nights. The first thing Cinderella did was to have her tabby cat brought to the palace. They lived happily ever after, and the good fairy looked over them at all times. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a beautiful queen and a handsome king. The queen was not only beautiful, but she was kind and generous. Her people loved her dearly. She always helped people and wanted her country to always be in abundance. The queen always longed to have a daughter. One day, as she sat embroidering by the window, she daydreamed of her future daughter. In a daze, she accidentally pricked her finger with her embroidery needle. The blood from her finger dripped onto the white fabric she was embroidering. At that very moment, a shooting star crossed the sky. The queen made a wish.
Dear God, please send me a daughter. Let her be so beautiful that everyone admires her. Let her have pink cheeks, black hair like mine, her lips as red as this drop of blood, her eyes as bright as diamonds, and her skin as white as this very cloth. She should always smell like the flowers in my garden. Let her teeth be as white as the pearls on my neck.
A short time after that, her wish came true, and she shared the good news with the king and announced that they were expecting a baby.
My queen, wish what you will from me. I'll get you the most wonderful gift.
My health is not as good as it used to be. What I ask of you is to protect our child from all evil. Please promise me that you'll protect her. There's nothing more I wish for.
When the time came, the Queen gave birth to a very beautiful girl. Just as she had wished for, her daughter had black hair, red lips, bright eyes, skin as white as snow, and smelled like flowers. They named her Snow White because of the whiteness of her skin. Soon after, the Queen's health deteriorated and she passed away. The young king was very sad. While he mourned his beloved wife, he also tried to raise Snow White as best he could. When Snow White turned 5, a big ball was organized at the palace. The king was celebrating his daughter's birthday and also choosing a new queen. At the ball, there was a beautiful woman who had magical powers. She used these powers to dance with the king and cast a spell on him and married the king and became the queen. Snow White's stepmother was a very beautiful woman, but she was also vain, cruel, and evil. From the day she arrived at the palace, she despised Snow White. She saw her as her rival. The queen also had a magic mirror. She always consulted the mirror about the future and would ask,
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
My dear Queen, it's you. You're the most beautiful woman in the world.
And so, time passed by. Snow White became a very beautiful young girl. Those who saw her could not look away. As she strolled in the palace gardens, the wind that brushed her hair would spread her flowery scent. Birds and butterflies would always follow her around. And her voice was so heavenly that when she sang, birds in the gardens would go silent and listen to her. One day, the queen asked her mirror,
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
My Queen, you're very beautiful, but the most beautiful girl is Snow White.
The jealous and cruel queen got so angry that she held the bottle in her hand at the magical mirror.
How is that possible? No one's more beautiful than me. Summon the princess at once.
Meanwhile, she had locked up the king in the palace dungeon and told everyone that he was away working for his people. She also summoned the palace hunter and gave him strict orders.
I want you to kill Snow White and bring her heart to me as proof.
Snow White, who had no idea of her fate, came to see the evil queen.
Dear Snow White, you haven't been out for days. You must be bored inside the castle. I'd like you to bring me some strawberries from the forest. This way you'll be able to get some fresh air. You'll have a good time, don't worry. I'll send you my trustworthy hunter with you.
As the princess picked strawberries with the hunter, they got deep into the forest. The poor hunter was very sad.
How can I harm someone with such a good heart and such beauty? There must be another way.
The hunter couldn't bring himself to kill her. They sat under a tree and he told her about the queen's evil plan.
My princess, please go far away. If the queen finds out what I've done, she will kill both of us.
He immediately hunted an animal and brought its heart to the queen.
Aha!
The princess spent the night under that tree. She was so scared. At dawn, she went on her journey. After a long walk, she reached a small house and went inside. She looked around in amazement.
What is this place? Everything is so small and there's 7 of everything. 7 small chairs, 7 pairs of forks and spoons.
Since she was so hungry, she made soup with the ingredients she found in the house. She ate and went upstairs. And then she fell asleep in one of the small beds. At night, the house owners returning from the mine were actually the 7 dwarfs. Their names were Doc, Dopey, Happy, Grumpy, Sneezy, Bashful, and Sleepy.
Hey, what's this? It smells like delicious soup.
No! It's like someone entered the house.
Come! Look! There's a girl sleeping here!
The commotion woke up Snow White. She was scared when she first saw them. She then told them everything that happened to her.
My name is Snow White. I don't mean any harm. I don't have a place to go. That's why I took shelter here. Please, let me stay.
Of course, Princess. We are not going to let you stay alone in the forest. Don't worry.
You are our first guest who makes such delicious soup.
Time passed by. Days and weeks. Snow White and the 7 dwarfs were laughing, having fun together, and living a peaceful life.
My queen, you're beautiful, but Snow White, who lives with the 7 dwarfs, is more beautiful.
How's this possible? The hunter must have lied to me. First, I will get rid of Snow White, and then I will teach the hunter a lesson.
She immediately worked on an evil plan. She poisoned an apple and disguised herself as an old woman to trick Snow White.
Hello? Anybody home? I'm so hungry and I ran out of food.
The 7 dwarfs had warned Snow White to not open the door to anyone. But Snow White felt sorry for the old woman that came to her door, and so let her in without a doubt.
Please come in. Welcome. Thanks, my child. I got so tired and hungry in the forest. Do you have something to eat? Yes, of course. I have some soup.
After finishing her soup, the evil queen disguised as the old woman offered the poisoned apple to Snow White. The princess took a bite and fell on the floor, falling asleep. The old woman turned back into the evil queen and happily went back to her palace. When the 7 dwarfs who came back from the mine in the evening saw her laying on the floor, they thought that she had died and so were very sad.
We should make her eternal sleep comfortable. Let's make a nice bed for her.
A handsome prince who was walking through the forest heard the 7 dwarfs crying. He got curious and approached them.
Oh my, what's going on here?
He was very surprised when he looked to see who was laying in the crystal bed surrounded by flowers. She was the girl who had been in his dreams for days. The smell of her hair was still all over the forest.
Who is this beautiful girl?
Her name is Snow White. We haven't been able to wake her up.
They told the prince everything that had happened. The prince lifted the crystal cover to give a farewell kiss to the girl of his dreams. He kissed her on the cheek. At that moment, something unexpected happened. The spell broke and a miracle occurred. Snow White opened her eyes and got up in bed. The 7 dwarves and the prince were very happy.
You are the girl of my dreams, Snow White. This is the best day of my life. Will you marry me?
First, I need to find my father and tell him about everything that happened, and also get his blessing.
They went back to the palace and got the king out of the dungeon. The evil queen fled in fear. The prince and Snow White got married and lived happily ever after.